There are television legends from every era. Some fade quietly, slipping out of sight without notice. There isn't always a dramatic departure, but sometimes someone does something that captures everyone's attention, even if only for a brief moment. The viewers tuning in that morning were excited to see Kelly Ripa, the familiar face they had welcomed into their homes for more than 20 years. They expected her bright smile, sharp wit, and warm personality. What they witnessed instead was far different. Something deeper, more emotional, and unmistakably real. Not through a polished statement or tabloid rumor, but live on air in front of millions, Kelly Ripa announced that she was leaving. There was no showbiz gloss or rehearsed performance when the cameras captured her final moments. Only tears. Nothing was scripted. It was authentic. Tonight we're going to break down that shocking farewell, the reasons behind it, the emotions that surfaced, the legacy she leaves behind, and what it truly means for a longtime TV icon to say, "This is my final show." This story isn't just reporting, so stay with us. It's about life, change, and the bittersweet beauty of letting go. The actress, Kelly Ripa, was far more than just a TV personality. She had been a central figure in morning television since 2001. Over the years, she shared the desk with Regis Feldman, then with Michael Strahan, Ryan Seacrest, and most recently with her husband, Mark Consuwell. More than 4 million Americans, many sipping their morning coffee before work, felt like they knew her personally. It wasn't just Kelly on the screen. To them, she was family. Her humor was comforting, her charm uplifting, and her presence energizing. But those same qualities that made her so loved only made the sadness of her departure even heavier. Because when someone like Kelly Ripa says goodbye, it's not just a show ending, it's the close of a chapter. A chapter many fans had lived alongside her. For longtime viewers, it felt like losing a close friend. But the audience had no idea that Kelly had been preparing for this moment behind the scenes. There had been whispers for weeks. Was Kelly considering stepping away? Was she planning to retire altogether? After all, she had appeared on the show every weekday for over 2 decades. Fans who paid attention noticed little signs, how she occasionally reminisced about earlier days, or paused on set to let her co-host guide the conversation. The hints were there, clear to anyone looking closely. Still, no one expected such an emotional, raw farewell. When the moment finally arrived, it wasn't just another segment. It became a historic TV moment. It began the morning of her final show. Kelly entered the studio early, aware of the weight of the day. Longtime staff members noticed her calmness. She greeted everyone with her usual warmth, but her tone was gentler, her movements softer. She sat at the desk, placed her hand on its familiar surface. This wasn't just a set piece. This was where she had made millions laugh, cry, share stories, and feel connected to her. When the cameras turned on, they expected a routine broadcast, but her face told the truth. This wasn't just another show. It was the end of an era. Before she began speaking, the studio fell completely silent. Even her co-host was unprepared for what would follow. Kelly started talking, her voice trembling. She thanked the audience in the studio, the entire production team, her co-host, and the loyal viewers who had supported her for over 20 years. Despite trying to hold herself together, her emotions broke through. Tears filled her eyes. She paused to steady herself. The crowd applauded, some already wiping tears. Then she said the words no one wanted to hear. "This will be my final show." The atmosphere shifted immediately. Gasps filled the room. Viewers at home felt a collective shock. Kelly Ripa, who had been part of their daily lives for so long, was leaving. But why?
The decision
Why
stemmed
now?
from the private battles she had been fighting for years. Battles hidden behind her upbeat tone and bright smile. Many adored her for being funny, sharp, and full of life. But behind the camera, she dealt with challenges few knew about. The grueling hours, the relentless pace of live television, the delicate balance of being a mother and a public figure, and the emotional weight of constant visibility. She faced health struggles, family duties, and the mental strain that comes from giving so much of herself every day. Kelly had often said she felt torn, wanting to give her family everything she gave her work. For more than 20 years, she had walked a tightrope beautifully, but she knew a crossroads was coming. The children who once filled her stories weren't little anymore. They were adults carving out their own paths, and Kelly felt a powerful pull to be present for them in a different way, not as the celebrity mom rushing to the studio, but simply as their mother, available for spontaneous lunches, late-night calls, or quiet weekends without worrying about Monday's show. She longed for that time. The physical toll also couldn't be ignored. The 4 a.m. alarms, the daily hair and makeup grind, the pressure to be energetic, funny, engaging every morning, whether she felt joyful or exhausted. Live TV is a beast that demands constant feeding. After more than 5,000 episodes, the grind became too heavy. While she never addressed the Rummers directly, burnout and fatigue were clearly creeping in. Her decision became a quiet rebellion in a world obsessed with nonstop hustle, a statement that rest is not a luxury, but a necessity, even for someone as strong as Kelly Ripa. It was a choice made for health, peace, and the simple human desire to wake with the sunrise, not long before it. As her announcement sank in, all eyes turned to Mark Consuelos. His stunned expression was unmistakable. Even as her partner, this was a moment she chose to handle her way. As he watched his wife make one of the boldest decisions of her life, his polished on-air composure melted away, replaced by raw emotion. Standing across from her, he reached out and held her hand, silently telling her he was with her no matter what. The audience, sensing the intimacy of the moment, held their breath. The earlier gasps softened into compassionate sadness. In that instant, she wasn't just a TV icon. She was a woman choosing change, and everyone felt honored and heartbroken to witness it. The rest of the show was a blur of tears and emotion. Producers quickly shifted plans, airing a surprise tribute montage highlighting Kelly's journey, from her early days with Regis Philane to her funniest moments, candid interviews, and unforgettable on-air chaos. Former co-hosts like Michael Strahan and Ryan Seacrest sent video messages, sharing personal stories about her professionalism, kindness, and sharp wit. Celebrity friends and longtime guests sent love and gratitude. Kelly sat beside Mark through it all, tears streaming, overwhelmed by gratitude and the ache of saying goodbye. Her legacy won't just be measured in ratings or longevity. It lives in the way she reinvented what a morning host could be. Kelly Ripa wasn't just reading from a teleprompter. She was real. She spoke about parenting struggles, marriage challenges, and personal insecurities with a disarming honesty that made millions feel seen.